Gorza is the one you
Don't
should
bother
ask.
with Tacitus. Useless. There's nothing more I can teach you. Tacitus? Boy's an Imperial. I keep showing him how to treat the iron, but he never gets it. In the Legion, the Imperial smiths used to read books when they couldn't set their hammers straight. Wisdom of the old, I guess. If you find a book called The Last Scabbard of Akrish, could you bring it to me? Tacitus sure isn't learning by example. Thanks. You'd think an apprentice could forge a few... Not.
Good to see Skyrim still has such fine people. You give an old man hope. I have things to study. What is it? To protect my research, for one. There are more cutthroat scholars out there who would steal my findings if they got the chance. And the excavations into Nichuanzel are dangerous. Dwemer machines and traps still functional, even after thousands of years. What? Goodbye. I have things to study. What is it? Yes, they invented machines. And then, at a time we are still not sure when,
Brilliant.
they disappeared. The whole people, all at once. Good to see Skyrim still has such fine people. You give an old man hope. I have things to study. What is it? Ah, yes. Well, it's my farmer translation tome. There are ancient references to old artifacts. What little I could learn suggests they may be what I need to complete my research. Here, it's all in these notes. I'm sorry. I'm in the midst of groundbreaking research. This should be no problem at all for you. I shall be here for advice, should you need me. Wonderful. This is an exciting opportunity for us, to be able to study such an early civilization and the magics they used.
I've got your back. Hey, look, a cave.
You've come.
Wonder what's
The
inside.
Draugr infesting the Mirror Sanctuary are inside. Then I'll wait.
Something smells foul.
right behind you.
You've done it. The shrine is ours again. Now we need to prepare a grand feast to welcome you to Namira's coven. You will have the honor of bringing a fresh kill for the main course, and I know the perfect person. A priest filled with the taste of an easy life, Brother Verilus from Markarth. Give him this gold, tell him you need Arkay's help exploring an old cavern for treasure. And when he stands in Namira's presence, she will take care of the rest. Say hello to Verilus for me.
Good day, friend. Keeping well? You are looking for Arkay's protection while you delve some dank tomb, I take it? My duties keep me busy in Markarth. I don't know if I can help you. Treasure, you say? I suppose the Jarl won't mind if I'm gone for a little while. Lead on.
I've got your back.
Khajiit got your back.
Still here. I've got your back.
Many used to come to these caves. The forgotten, the wretched.
The toes are my favorite part. I hope I get to take a few home with me.
I always preferred the liver myself. My brother had such a juicy liver.
Priest of Arkay, I'm your friend.
You're my... friend?
Yes, I'm your friend, and I've invited you to dinner.
I've been invited to dinner. I'm so hungry.
Why don't you lay down and rest while we get the meal ready?
I need to lay down. I'll just be a minute.
Come with me. Our feast is about to begin.
Now this is going... Good feast.
You've brought us quite the meal.
A Mednay was leaning over the counter the other day. The master had to pull her eyes away from his tender region.
The meal is on Namira's table. Go ahead, carve. He looks so sweet. Go ahead, have the bite.
Mortal, I am Namira, the Lady of Decay. Your consumption of the blood and bile of Arkay's own is pleasing to me. I give you my ring.
What happened?
Wear it, and when you feast on the flesh of the dead, I will grant you my power. Wallow in your wretchedness, my newest champion.
I knew when you walked into the Hall of the Dead that you were special. I knew when you walked into the Hall of the Dead that you were special. And here you are, champion of Namira, keeper of her ring. You're everything I hoped you'd be. It's an honor, champion. Feel free to stay and mingle with your new coven.
It's an honor, Keeper of the Ring.
You were given Namira's ring? A great honor. You buy a war dog from me? There's a reason why my hounds are so eager to bite into people.
Namira spoke to you? I knew this feast was going to be something.
You know what?
The bloodiest beef in the Reach.
From the incident.
My deepest apologies for the delay, Master.
Just a reminder, sweetie.
I'm right behind you.
hear the old stories. Sweet enough to play on a bard's lute. What about you, stranger? What about this city speaks to you? Maybe you'd prefer solitude then. When it comes to people, the name is misleading. It applies only to the atmosphere. The name's Jasper Gerston. I'm a writer. Aspiring writer. I always forget that word. Funny how large the chasm is between the two. It was a wandering thought, passed on to a stranger. I was looking at the ocean this morning. Came to a realization. Skyrim is a tale with no end. You flip back to a previous page, only to find that the line's been changed. But the old themes still remain. There will always be war, suffering, glory, and love. Time never grows old. It's a season unending, a story everlasting. So it did in the Great War, in the Oblivion Crisis, and countless times before. The return of an ancient evil, the birth of a new one. Somewhere out there, a hero is waking up in a strange room, in a dungeon, or in their bed, rubbing their eyes to slow music and a bottle of warm mead. And it happens. The bard bangs his drum. The mead goes down like a knife in the throat. A city burns. A treasure is found. A boy meets a girl. The story I wrote was about a warrior. But good tales are never about the wars, but the people who fight them. That's why wars are so personal. Everyone has someone they lost. All of our fates woven into a single room. Except mine. The world has its problems. And I have my problems. And neither one cares about the other. The Nords are somewhat primitive. Some still think that wearing fine clothes without fur means you worship Daedra. But simple minds can foster strong emotion. The Nords are people willing to swear their undying fealty to a feeling. That's what I'm trying to capture.
I've been looking for you. Got something I'm supposed to deliver. Your hands only. Let's see here. I've got a letter and a lot of gold. Something about it being your, inheritance. Oh, and sorry for your loss. Looks like that's it. Got to go.
Well met. Goodbye. Greetings. I've tried. In fact, when I was in solitude, I wrote maybe hundreds of tales. But none worth reading. I was still maturing then, looking for my voice. I would look back on something I penned a week before, shake my head at how shallow the words were. How empty they felt. I began to doubt if I could write anything of substance, and found my solace at the bottom of a flagon. I spent my nights at the winking skeever, and my mornings outside his door. Even Octave's son found my behavior uncouth. One night, Corpulus got fed up, kicked me out into the streets, and told me to never come back. That's when I met my muse. Not unless you fancy ribs of muscle. No. My muse was no beauty. It wasn't even a she. My muse was an orc. He was a titan, with arms like tree trunks cut from the great forest. Only, something wasn't right about the way he looked at the tavern sign. When I asked him what was wrong, he managed to force out a word. His bottom lip quivered like a child who just dropped a sweet roll. The word he said was skeever. It was a giant, with shoulders larger than the domes of the Blue Palace. And he was absolutely terrified of rats. That night, for the first time, I wrote with purpose. There was none of the doubt or fear that marred my previous work. The words came faster than I could jot them down. For 3 days and 3 nights I continued. When I was done, I knew the work was true. It was the best manuscript I had ever written. It was the best I could ever write. I tried. I bound the book and took it to a writer named Dodonato Liatelli. I told him the author was anonymous. Said so right on the first page. I didn't want his opinion colored by my presence. I'm not sure it would have mattered. You know what he told me? He said the story read like it was written by a blacksmith. And that's when I knew I was still aspiring. Maybe always will be. And the delusional often exaggerate their own worth. I could be a genius ahead of his time, a writer without peer. I could be a failure who doesn't belong, scribbling words that have no soul. To walk either path is to go down a lonely road. But that is Skyrim. No, not since Adonato rejected my last work. I'm trying a new style. Less words, more pith. As if each sentence were its own story. Traveling the Windhelm changed me in 2 ways. I now lack the funds to travel. More importantly, the Constitution. I see. You must have been curious to seek out one man's trifle in a world full of them. I almost feel the need to apologize for wasting your time. I thank you for the compliment. Sometimes I wonder if that's enough. If just one person enjoyed my work, maybe it was all worth it. Maybe then it all had purpose. Even as my voice was reduced to a whisper, there was someone out there bothering to listen. I admit, I never thought of that. Is it possible he never bothered to read it? I wonder if I should get a second opinion. But I don't know if my heart could take another rejection. If it's that bad, I don't see why it would help. But that book has no owner. Do with it as you wish. If you're headed that way, maybe you'll find someone back west in Solitude, where the book was conceived. I will stay here, pray that someday I will pen something worthy of a name. Alas, no. I've heard that a writer's words must sing from the page. A bard takes that interpretation literally. I tried it once, singing. The demand for bards is much higher than for writers, which is evident by the number of people in Skyrim who can read. But Virmo is a poetic bard, not a singing one. He's also a talented lutist. I do none of the three. Goodbye.
We need to do
Papa says I want robbery.
If you're heading to the Blue Palace, you might want to rethink that outfit. Remember Radiant
Good day.
I'm right behind you.
Well met. Well, yes. You came to the right elf. I know everything about everyone. In fact, you're quite the popular topic these days. So, before I share, I need to know if all the rumors regarding you and that Hagraven are true. After all, I would never spread such lies without first confronting the person in question. Which is precisely what the rumors have been saying. That you have been getting more than a little friendly with them. Then there's that other nasty rumor that you were only seen with a Hagraven because you agreed to join the Forsworn. But I insisted that you were a person of character and would never resort to committing such heinous acts to feed your skooma habit. Gladly. I won't reveal my sources, but from what I hear, a certain publisher has been struggling to stay afloat. In a last-ditch effort, they've sent their minions all over Skyrim in search of the next great writer. One of these critics has limited his search to the winking skeever. Oh, but that's not the scandalous part. For it's not the drinking, but the fact that our critic bears a striking resemblance to one Minette Vinius. A bold person might accuse this critic of bearing an illegitimate child, especially given how gregarious she is compared to her so-called father. Of course, I would never levy such an accusation without proof. My, it seems the rumors about your temper are true. Don't worry, I'll do my best to keep it a secret. As for a description, it's unnecessary. The man always sits in the same seat, the stool on the right at the bar. They say it offers him a good view of the child. You take it, and he'll come to you.
Do you need something? We're paying our respects to me dead husband. Henry and I lost his father in the war. Now, I do what I can to get by and care for Henry. Thank you, we manage. I just have to keep Henry entertained and out of trouble. That's the really hard part.
Huh? Oh, sorry.
You wouldn't have a few minutes to run down to the docks, would you? Well, I've got a shipment of spices the East Empire Company is holding up. I need someone to convince them to release it. Great. Get back to me when you're done and I'll give you something for your time. Oh, yes. A secret family recipe. The only good thing my father Octave ever did. In fact, it's so good, no one else in Skyrim even tries to make any. Good luck out there. Seems like a tough time to be wandering Skyrim.
Yes?
Come on in.
I love how Minette pretends to know the things,
Or take a seat by the fire and I'll
but
send
not
someone
the
over.
things she does.
All right, then.
Need something?
Brilliant.
How can I assist?
Make it quick.
Welcome to the Winking Skeever, friend. Remember the Winking Skeever next time you're footsore.
Bloody hardcars.
Need something?
If you need a good rumor or
I
two,
like that stool the
I think
best.
I can oblige.
Has the best
Speak.
Need anything, you just say the word.
Now, if you'll excuse me.
I'd arm wrestle you for it, but something tells me that would leave me sore.
Need
tired,
something?
Possibly.
Until
Need
next
something?
time.
What good would that stool do me then?
Civil wars, dragons. Huh. Those
The
troubles don't
name's
cross my
Flint, by
doorway.
the way.
Sit,
Author,
relax.
publisher, and admirer of the female form. I am sorry, lass, but I haven't the slightest idea what you're talking about. I'm actually sterile, believe it or not. One of the great gifts the Bella granted me, and there's not a day I don't thank her for it. You might have. I've written countless epics, poems, and tales of heroism. Still, I'm best known for a terrible piece of tripe I wrote about 7 years ago, called The Duke of Beards. It was a book about a legendary barber, and bloody awful, which is saying something for a work of non-fiction. In fact, I once set out to burn every copy in Skyrim, but the thing took on a life of its own. Turns out that piece of rubbish was the best thing that ever happened to me. The fame I received from that book gave me the coin and the authority to write what I love. They say one man's trash is another man's treasure, but for me, they were one and the same. Let's see. Now, if I'm being perfectly honest, I would say this is apprentice-level work. But that being said, you've got talent. Of course. I'm assuming this manuscript is yours.
But this land is ours, and we'll see it wiped clean of the scourge that has sullied our hopes and
Of course. I can't tell you how many writers hand me manuscripts on behalf of their friends in hopes of getting an honest critique. But regardless of his identity, one thing that's certain is that your friend lacks conviction. I can see it as plain as day on the page. I didn't say that. Although your friend may not like what I'm about to say, with a little polish we can turn this into a seller. It may not give him the acclaim he seeks, but it will put food on the table. The problem with young artists is that they're a bit too attached to their integrity. He may not go for it. On the other hand, better to be a mediocre artist than a starving one, and it'll give him the leverage to write something of substance.
You know, I had to retire and leave you to run the Skeever, son.
I don't know, Father.
Well, for starters, we need to dumb it down a bit. A few cosmetic changes here and there ought to do it.
Don't be a
We
silly
also
girl.
need to make these
Plenty of bars
paragraphs
no job
cleaner.
for a young
They
lady.
lack direction.
What about
It's
Aunt
something
Vida
that can be
from
fixed
Dragon?
easily enough.
She runs a bar, and you said she's one
Lastly,
of your favorite girls.
the main character's name. I can tell our friend
Well, you
hasn't
see,
spent much
that's
time
a little
around
complicated,
orcs.
and
I
you know
think
what?
Bogach is a female name.
Retiring anytime soon.
Ah, now there's a strong orc name. I like it. All that's left now is to give my suggestions to your friend. If the final copy passes muster, I'd be more than happy to have it published. Safe travels.
If you need a good rumor or two, I think I can oblige. Welcome to the Winking Skeever, friend. King Skeever next time you're footsore.
Yes?
Hello there. Although I get not to mean that we won't be friends someday, or even today.
Cause
Well met. By Debella, you mean someone wants to publish my book? Wait, what do you mean by changes? I know. It's something I've been wrestling with ever since I realized Donato lied to me. After you left, I dug up some old drafts on that novel, hoping to find some vindication. What I found was a stranger. I don't recognize the person that wrote those words. The inspiration was there, but not the voice to shape its thoughts. Yet now, I feel confident I can make it heard. I can tell the story of this orc the way it was meant to be written. If you'll give me a few days to rewrite it, I'll have something for you. Unless there was something else you wanted to add. Well, I'm not married to the name. To be frank, I wasn't sure if Bogach was authentic. I'll leave that to you and the publisher to decide. I'll get to work on it right away. Come back in a few days. I should have something for you. Farewell.
Still here.
Yes? Actually, it's done. I can't say for sure if the publisher will like it. At this point, I don't really mind if he doesn't. All it means is I have room to grow. I know I'm still aspiring. My journey is far from over. Still, the fact that he was willing to listen, and you were willing to help, means it's also far from hopeless. Here.
someone there?
That takes care
How much
of that.
you were there for Rogvir's execution? You look like an adventurous one. I bet we're kindred spirits, you and I. Perhaps, but necessary. My cousin Fura is somewhere out there in Skyrim right now, fighting Ulfric Stormcloak and his damned insurrectionists. She wouldn't have to be there at all if it weren't for Rogvir. And my aunt wouldn't have to worry about her daughter. People to see and play... Oh.
How can I assist? Hmm?
Yes.
Get the cold out.
I've heard mead dries the food and milk tends to clog it. I've also been trying to drink
Well
plenty
met.
of water and avoid the hearth.
And here I thought the story of the orc with the stone hands would never get told. Glad to see you've kept it safe. Now, let me take a look. Now this, my friend, is a story. Give me a season or two, and the name Jaspar Gersten will be known from here to Strozemkai. Here, take this gold. Half is for you, and the other half is an advance for our newest writer. Well, good is a relative term. For a debut novel from an unknown writer, it's not bad. But the lad has potential, and I think it's worth investing our time. Safe travel.
I work for the wind.
I hope your parents are proud
You know
of
if you need anything.
They have
Take a seat
lot
by the
of
fire.
things to
Someone
do.
over. I'm sorry. Here, take a look at this. Some of the Jarl's men came by and left us bounty litter. See ya.
I'm no one special. Just a miner who swings a pickaxe for his drinking money.
I don't know what to say. Four. 400 septums. By Sinithar. Are you sure? This is too much. Thank you. I won't. Oh, and by the way, I forgot to ask you. Who exactly is this publisher in Solitude? Flynn Horstad? The man who wrote The Duke of Beards? Suddenly I'm not so sure I trust his endorsement. But I confess, I haven't read his recent work. I've heard that it's far more substantial. In any case, I'm grateful to you both. Now when I look out from the lighthouse, I no longer feel so much despair. I feel hope. Good.
You're somewhere warm, I trust.
on in. Just stoked the fire. Take a seat and get the cold out.
What are you looking at? Oh yeah? You're a bit scrawnier than the way Argus described you. But I'll be a Reekling's uncle the day he tells it true. I suppose the Snowback didn't bother to tell you what the job's about, either. Don't worry, it ain't a long story. Follow me. That's better. Gotta love that fresh winter air. Now, about the job. I doubt Argus told you this, but I used to be a bandit. Had a crew that numbered 24 not a month ago. We were making good coin, raiding caravans and the occasional mine, until one of them decides he wants a bigger slice of the pie. My slice. Don't know how they convinced the others, but about 6 of them made rounds around the camp, cutting throats. All my men dead as dog meat. Wolves outside must have smelled it, too, because they started howling. It was them beasts that gave me enough time to figure out what was going on and slip out the back way. Funny part is, I'd been nagging the boys to kill those things for weeks. For starters, yeah, but getting the hideout back is just as important. It's an old mining shaft. Redoran's Retreat is what they call it, though I can't say why. Just meet me outside the entrance when you're ready.
You're taking us somewhere warm, I trust. Khajiit guards your back.
Good. You're all here. The plan's simple. We go in and kill everything on 2 legs. Except for the chief. I'll have him crawling on all 4s. Any questions?
Yeah, boss, I got a question. What if they have dogs? Wouldn't they be on 4 legs instead of 2? Would you want us to spare them, seeing as they ain't but stupid mutts?
I'm confused as well. You say kill everything on 2 legs.
If anyone sneaks up on us,
don't
I'll
make
smell them
moves.
coming. Or
You idiots!
we will
Just kill everything in the cave, except the 4 of us. Got it? Hallows' beard. I hardly recognize the place. Is that a sodding book on the table? No, this is more like it. Every one of these things has a story. Take this pendant, for instance. Got it off a carriage moving a noble's family to Solitude. It was locked in a safe, you see, and try as we might, nobody could crack it. This noble, he tried to bargain with me, saying he'd open the safe if I spared his blushing bride. So I said, sure, a deal's a deal. Open the safe and I won't lay a hand on your girl. Of course, never said anything about my men. Anyway, the funny part is I couldn't pawn it with the bloody inscription on the back. To my darling Cassandra. I couldn't have just married a girl named Helga. Of course, I blame Argus. If he was half the fence he claimed to be, he could sell the thing for twice what it was worth. Not that I need to tell you, seeing as how you used to work for him. Where did you say you two met, anyway? And yet you played along. Seems to me you could have just came clean then. I don't know who sent you, but either way, you can't be trusted. Now, you're going to die.
Something?
Dragons breathe fire in the sky.
I'm right behind you.
I'm telling you, Ulfric's planning an attack on Whiterun.
He'd be insane to try. He doesn't have the men.
That's not what my scouts report, sir. Every day more join his cause. Riften, Dawnstar, and Winterhold support him.
If anyone's on us, I'll smell them coming. Or I might not. We will see.
You won't get anything out of me, you filthy sons of workers.
I'm right behind you. I'm telling you, I'll
The road to White not. What do you need?
What is it?
Take my advice. Never gamble. Damn Ernskar had...
If anyone sneaks up on
Let
us,
me know if you want
I'll
anything.
smell them
I
coming.
think I got a clean mug around here somewhere.
I might not. We will see.